Nice. And we are live. Welcome, one and all, to Ace in the Hole, episode one. Technically, second. Huh? Okay, no, not Ace. Not Ace be in a hole. Ace in the hole. Okay. I wish I was in a hole, but we're not gonna. That's too much. Anyways, um, today we got a few things to talk about. Oh, actually, almost forgot. There we go. We got our background music playing, so y'all can enjoy. Yeah, we got a little bit of Anastar City here. Anyways, so for today, we got a few things to talk about. We got a crazy bitch who is basically forcing her, when she has a son, to be trans or gay. Doesn't want that cisgender bullshit. We got, I was gonna say Ghost of Mitsubishi again, but no, sorry. We got fucking Assassin's Creed Shadows and the Acolyte trailer leaking some fucking bullshit that they probably shouldn't have done. And like I said in the description, Stellar Blade has also have a huge win this week. And again, finally ending off with Pixar Layoffs. All that and much more in today's episode. So strap in, don't get the strap, and we'll bring you right up to speed. For today, first starting off, topic of the day. Right now we got ourselves Ubisoft, as I went over in earlier in the week. Seemingly the protagonists, Yasuke and Naoi, don't know, are LGBTQ+. And following this, you have a blog post on the company's website published May 15th, declaring that Naoi and Yasuke disparate personalities also led to them have different relationships and reports with other people, and they also don't always feel the same way as other people, nor do people always feel the same about them. Romantically, they will also be attracted to different types of people. They're basically just trying to sugarcoat it and say, yeah, these guys are gay or bi, all that weird shit. And I mean, to be honest, it doesn't need to be even implemented at all, but there's such a heavy push for these LGBT fucking people changing stuff that just wasn't even in there. You didn't have it in the original series. It wasn't like relationships and romantic interactions were really the strong suit of Assassin's Creed. No, you were a fucking assassin. You're hiding amongst the people, killing top officials that, are doing very dirty work. To now come to where the fuck we're at now, where it's a pivotal role that these people are attracted to the opposite sex. Or sorry, to the same sex. Or even the fact that it's just hard to believe that you're going to be able to be... The what? Yeah, that they're even just putting it in there in general. Now, I brought up the point in my earlier video that, like Baldur's Gate, it has a reason for the romantic stuff because it's a D&D, basically like a fucking D&D game playing out in a video game. But with this, it's just so out of left field. And then you have these other people clearly pushing on other stuff, like I went over where, she's also into the fucking little boys liking grown men, or the grown men liking little boys, and it's fucking weird. Like, that's advocating for maps. And again, the only maps that should be hung up are on a wall. That's it. We don't need anything else. All these other people trying to twist and add that into the other fucking alphabet soup letter people is just ridiculous. And again, they're ignoring Japanese culture by, instead of having someone actually prominent in Japanese culture, they'd rather run with the fact that, oh, he was in there for 15 months. After that, that's not even enough time to learn Japanese. Just mind that, right? Especially in feudal fucking Japan, where the education system is not necessarily, given to everybody equally. So you're wanting me to bet that fucking Yasuke, where his classic depiction, let's see, that fucking artwork that we always see, this one right here, you're telling me he's on the same playing field as Nobunaga, when clearly, why does everybody else have shoes but this man doesn't? Why is he carrying the fucking umbrella from Nobunaga? Oh, it's because he's a close friend. No, it looks more like he's a fucking servant. But you have people so hard, oh, it's a fantasy, just let your mind be disbelief that, that this person did this and that. And it's just like, okay, all the other assassins were made up. But now you want to have someone that's historically accurate. For what? Like, no, it fits too easily in your fucking DEI agenda. The fact that there really isn't much evidence that this man did much, especially after the 15 months he was back in India with the Jesuits. Again, it's ridiculous how much stock they're putting into this, and then obviously now with the addition of him being gay, I guess you could say, pretty much, it's turned a little bit more people off. Because at first they were like, oh yeah, this looks badass, whatever, but now they're doing something like this. Like, why? You couldn't just make a good Assassin's game? You had to be inclusive with the fucking sex and other bullshit? Yet you had to cater to the perverts? It didn't have to be that way. It really did not. But clearly we're sitting in a time where these fucking people, sex is everything to them. That's the only thing they know. They only live, breathe, and eat fucking sex. And they expect you to do the same thing, even though we're just like, well, we have lives too. We have other hobbies that we like. It's not all about sex. Especially when it comes to all the other stuff that we've been seeing with, like, Helldivers. They tried adding the LGBT stuff into that, and the developers were just like, no, it's not like that. So why the fuck would we put those flags in just because? So they stood firm on their ground. Then you have the other dumb shit with, like, whatchamacallit, Paper Mario, which I'll get into a little bit later, more in depth, but seemingly changing a translation from the past, altering it to fit your narrative that, oh, they're talking about a trans person, when that was never the fucking case. It's pretty ridiculous how far it's been going for all this crap. Everything needs to be inclusive, and the narrative has just altered so much. Let me see. Yeah, right there, Vivian. I forgot which one I did look at, but I'll pull that up later. That one. These people are fucking weird. Okay. But yeah, again, I already kind of covered this in the video, so if you want to check that one out earlier, but I think I posted that on Monday. But yeah, these people are fucking out of their mind for just not letting a game be game. Continuing on from that point, we have ourselves, let's go with Freestyler Blade, actually. I prefer we go on to this one next. So, at a surprising twist of events had turned out where Shift Up and Sony decided to put out a patch just, I think, a few days ago that added in 2 of the uncensored outfits that was in the demo, seemingly, obviously, answering the voices that all these gamers were saying that, hey, why did you take this away from us when in the demo it was there, right? And clearly it wasn't that hard to add back in because here they are, the stigma around it, obviously people are just horny boys or whatever. When, well, you advertised the game a certain way and then you took it out, that could be seen as false advertisement. Again, it's not a big deal for some, but the principle is what the actual issue is, right? Especially when it comes to Sony censoring so many of the Eastern games, where now quite a bit of Japanese developers refuse to put their games on Sony because the amount of censorship that will be taking place is, for them, too much, right? It takes away from what their creative vision was. when in reality, all you had to do was just, I mean, Nintendo allows this shit just to fucking go. But Sony is somehow pussyfooting around this and not allowing developers, showcase their fucking art the way that it was. Yes, some people may be hornier than others and other crap like that, but there's a market for that, right? There's people that'll pay for that. And then when you take that away, well, guess what? You are going to anger quite a bit of fans. There's just no way around that. Let's see. Yeah, this one, thank God, it fucking won. I was thoroughly surprised, not gonna lie, because we didn't think this was even gonna be a thing. A lot of people were just like, well, there you go, that's it. Looks like Stellar Blade is gone. But then, just before they actually hit the 1,500 signatures that Rums was asking for, and they made a change. Yeah, see, 91,855 people signed. So I would say that's very much a good deal for gamers. Letting the companies know we're not standing for this shit. There will definitely be blowback, and I think the consumer definitely has a right to voice their concerns when companies like this try to pull a fast one and not give people what they were asking for. That's as simple as it gets. You don't need to be a dick about it. You just, if you advertised it, you had it there before, just leave it, right? And clearly, for Shift Up, this is a big, just fucking dub. Moving on from that point, let's go with, oh wait, let's close that one out. This crazy bitch right here. So, let's take a listen. I will lower the audio on this one a little bit, just so that we can actually hear what this crazy bitch has to say.
No, it's over, Ina. It's over. Like, if I were to have a boy, we better pray to God that he's gay. We better start indoctrinating him day one. We have to either make him trans or make him gay. We are not having a cisgender straight son. No, it's over, Ina. It's...
Yeah, very, very upset. And again, this is what she says. If I have a son, we better start indoctrinating him day one. We either have to make him trans or make him gay. We're not having a cisgender straight son. Yeah, I don't think men are the problem. And I think this bitch was also complaining about Call of Duty toxic masculinity or whatever. These are the same people. And again, the bitch is playing Valorant. Another from last week where someone was falsely accusing someone, didn't want the fucking smoke, and plays victim just because, oh my god, these people are saying they're gonna R-word me and other crap like that. And it's like, maybe if you didn't put yourself in a hostile position where you're antagonizing people, you also don't have to actually have any of the voice chats open, right? So that was for last week. This one, I mean, again, same fucking thing where she's antagonizing people from a different community that has a very frat boyish, I guess you could say, culture, to then complain that you're going to make your son, you're going to indoctrinate your son to be either trans or gay. And you expect these kids to be raised properly? Like, they're going to be fucked in the head by the type of shit these people are putting into them. The ideologies, the twisted mentality that just infects these people's ego to go this far, right? Like, there is such hate for just being straight. When, newsflash, the continuation of this species relies on people. Sorry, it relies on nuclear families continuing on the, genes and other stuff like that. Otherwise, guess what? 2 women are never going to have a kid. 2 guys, never going to have a kid. Even if you have a trans woman and a trans man, guess what? Those complications will either lead to death, or the baby will have either mutations, deformalities, depending on how far the transition went, right? But the hormones that you're intaking, guess what? The kid also is going to be taking that in because they're fucking connected to you. Oh my god, like I know there's a joke that, oh, my tumor, right? But like, these people are the fucking tumor to the kid. Instead of giving them good nutrients and other shit like that, they're giving them fucking poison basically from the jump. And you wonder why some of these kids have such, you know, bad mental issues. But again, they want to claim nuclear families are the problem, straight people are the problem because them, oh, why are you guys always so upset that, we're pushing this and that? Maybe because your generation would not survive literally one cycle until they're gone because you can't have kids. But you guys want to be this fucking, oh my god, this fucking psycho, honestly. Sad to see. I feel bad for whoever the fuck has sex with that thing, but some people just don't know how to. Yeah, that's what they do. This is why they want access to your children. This is legit child abuse. She's brainwashing her son. We need to end the gender cult. Yep. Kind of enlightening. She's implying that it's a choice to be straight, and making that choice is inherently evil. This invalidates everything the alphabet mafia claims about children developing their gender inclination naturally. And again, a lot of these kids are probably just gay or lesbian, right? But they want to push it so far as like, no, you're the opposite sex. You just don't know it. So let's transition you prepubescently to where those alterations can't be reversed. They cannot be reversed. Especially when you become adult, you start making up. Your mind starts to develop more. I recently learned that women I think they mature at like 28. Was it around 28? And then men, they don't usually fully completely develop and like mature into their brain and all this stuff like that until like 38. Yeah, like around 38. The late 30s pretty much. But clearly all these people know better, right? Fucking up a kid that early. The amount of detransitioners that has been going on, the amount of suicides that these people have been having. Whoops, I said the word. Fucking hell, these people just don't know how to cope with this crap. And it's disgusting. At this point, they're really not hiding their feelings. And hopefully more people can shed light on this and actually step in and help these kids before they get completely fucked over by twisted people like this that say, I'm going to indoctrinate you from the day you're born. And they have no say, because guess what? A kid has to rely on their guardian, their parent, the people that raised them, for their morals, their life lessons, behavior, and other things like that. And if you just go right in the fucking jump to be like, oh, you're this way and you're going to behave this way, and if you don't act this way, you're going to be basically attacked. Like, fucking hell, dude, that's that's fucked up. But so ends that little portion, I would say. And I know I'm kind of steamrolling through this, but still kind of getting a hang of how to go about this whole ordeal. All right, moving on to our fourth topic. And again, I know, really pushing through these. No, of course. Okay, hold up. I love it. Someone commented on my Ghost Assassin's Creed Shadows. This person says, who cares? The main characters being fruits won't change the gameplay. Just play the game and have fun. Quit being a baby. Ah, yes, the simple answer of just saying, you should just ignore it. It's just a fun game anyways. You're reading too much into it. Really? Then take it out. Why does it need to be in the game? Simple as that. If it doesn't make an impact on the game, take it out. Right? The straw man argument that keeps, putting into place of like, it's still gonna be a fun game. Like, why are you being such a what is the fucking word? Like a fun cop or whatever, or you're ruining the fun basically. It's like, no, those other games didn't have that issue, and now you added that in. And again, you're ignoring the fact this bitch clearly advocates for maps, minor attracted persons. Again, that's just a fancy word for pedophiles. Oh, you can't say that. You know, the people are going to get offended if you call them a pedophile. No, those people are fucked up, twisted, and should not be in society, right? There's a reason why, even back then, if you go to prison and they find out you fucked and diddled kids or did something like that, that's it. You are in it for the worst in prison. But it's not such a bad thing, guys. It's not such a bad thing. Oh, it's just one person that's just saying this stuff. That's how it starts. It's always one thing being put in there, and then another, and then another. It's like we just saw with the lady. Indoctrination. You don't think young teens and others are playing this game, even though it's rated M? Same thing with GTA. Oh, you know, the parents should be monitoring their kids. Yeah, they should. But also, when a company deliberately knows that they are still going to be getting in front of that audience and they still slip in those messages, it's a little bit more nefarious than you want to believe. It's all sunshine and rainbows, guys. Clearly, you're overthinking it, that they're adding in gay samurai, lesbian samurai. Oh, maybe she's not even lesbian. Like, oh, maybe she's gonna fuck an animal. Maybe that's what they're implying, right? Bestiality and shit. But no, you're crazy. Just enjoy the game. You're being a fucking bitch about it. Okay, weirdo. You're the one that's clearly wanting this weird fucking pervert ass shit into the game, when it's supposed to be about killing. Yeah, most games have some bit of a fantasy element. This one's just a fucking weird sex perverted fantasy. That's all I gotta say. Alright, so moving on from that, we have ourselves the Acolyte trailer. I'm only gonna play snippets. I'm not actually gonna play the audio, but they originally had it leaked where, plot twist, unfortunately, there's a Sith and a Jedi twin, or there's twins that are, one's a Sith, one's a Jedi. This all culminates into, you know, a cat and mouse chase around where one's being accused of committing these heinous crimes against the Jedi, when in reality it's the sister that was, you know, unfortunately left behind and turned to the Sith. And Lucasfilm, being as stupid as they are, literally gave away the fucking thing in the first trailer that aired. When was this? Yeah, it aired. I think it was on the fucking 15th. Yeah. And now they've completely wiped it. They took off the captions because it gave away the fucking thing. Oh shit. No, bitch, you're supposed to have nothing in there. There we go. See, there it had it. And then right there, but they got rid of the name. It clearly showed, it said Asha and May. Ooh. See, right there it says Yord. He's talking, right? So clearly they have the ability to fucking put the actors' names right there, but they took it away for those. It's like, you're not slick. And the fact that they already gave away their big plot twist, literally, I think what, 3 weeks before the premiere, or 2 weeks, really goes to show how fucked up Lucasfilm is, right? They haven't made a profit since, I want to say, the Force Awakens, or maybe The Last Jedi, I believe. And they've also, you know, completely diminished the goodwill that they had with the fans by, yes, you have the Dave Filonis of the world that are just sucking Lucasfilm's tit no matter what. But the people that liked the original trilogy hated how they disrespected Han, Luke, and Leia, completely just adding in Rey to be a Mary Sue, knows how to do everything right. And then you have other people as well. Now, people like this, or this bitch right here, is a strong female. She's a strong female character, right? Like, they have not learned, even though we had good characters back then, like Ridley, Sarah Connor, uh, Kill Bill, right? You had all those people that were badass females in the 90s and 80s. They didn't need to be told, hey, you're a strong female. You know how the fuck to do it. It's just like, they never had to do that. They just literally showed you they were badass, right? They showed their worth by defeating defeating a queen alien, defeating all these more powerful fighters and other stuff like that, defeating fucking futuristic robots that had the ability to adapt. But, you know, we have to be told nowadays, this person is a strong female character, and, you know, she's not going to be swayed by a man. She doesn't need no man to be saving her. Because we can't have any damsels in distress. The man has to be a damsel in distress now. Completely ruining what came before. Not knowing how to tell a story, building character. You can show strong females and do it right, but the way that Hollywood has been doing it the past few decades, they kind of show they don't understand what made those previous characters so popular, and they wonder why franchise after franchise pushing a strong female character in the, you know, main feature films or whatever hasn't really been making them bank. They might try and plan a fucking saga. They get into the second film and it's losing money. Then they end up canceling the third one. Furiosa, a good fucking example. You have a Mad Max in name only film without Mad Max. Just let that sink in. You're wanting to use his name to attract people, but then you're not willing to actually put in the character. Mel Gibson is still fucking good enough to act, right? Even Robert Downey Jr. is batting for him, saying, hey, after all the shit I've done and you guys redeemed me, or you guys were able to accept me after all the crap I did, do the same for Mel Gibson, right? The man has gone through hell. He's, you know, brought himself back. He's cleaned up. But they don't want that. They can't have a man be in the limelight. A straight white man cannot be the centerfold of a, big ticket movie. Even though we've seen with Top Gun Mavericks, what other film was it? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 did surprisingly well. When the initial fucking opening scared people because they were like, oh, it's going to be another Marvel disaster. And then people saw the film and was like, oh shit, okay, no, it's actually pretty good, you know? And who's the main character in that? Yes, Chris Pratt, but also Bradley Cooper, a straight white dude. And I guess you could say even Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman next, right? Coming up. Obviously, there's the whole play that they're gay, but you have fucking Ryan Reynolds. I guarantee this one is going to actually make, if not close, it's going to get possibly to $1 billion. But it's going to do better than all the other previous Deadpools for sure. And it's a fucking straight white dude taking on the role of, you got a straight guy as Hugh Jackman, and then you have the comedic relief with Ryan Reynolds, right? If they were to try and twist it and have it be a female, kind of like how they did with Logan, good film, but if they actually went off of Old Man Logan, would have been 10 times better, right? You had the Hulk family, you had all the other crap that was much darker, where when now you have that kid in the film, you have to kind of tone it down a little bit to not have them be subjected to the same twisted shit that actually happened in the comics, right? Now, when, they're at their wits' end, they have to be comically accurate. The suit looks fucking badass. Hugh Jackman's actually going to wear the mask. Characters from previous X-Men films are going to be making cameos, and hopefully it's done tastefully the same way as No Way Home. And you have a recipe for success. Just listen to the fans, make a good film, and stop attacking them before the film even comes out or the show. We always see this where the show's about to come out, and if they know it's bad, they attack the fans. Say, oh, watch out, the fans might call this black chick racist or some other words, and it's just like, we're not saying that before the show even comes out. And then when it comes out, they're like, nobody wants to watch it because they were racist, because they're misogynist, they're bigots and stuff. So, we can't have them. Ridiculous on how far these people have moved the goalpost and being so twisted in how they've not accepted what reality is. And that's all. And again, that's just from this little portion of me getting fucking annoyed by them doing what they do with the whole acolytes thing. Taking from the extended universe elements that they like, but when Disney first bought Star Wars, they were like, no, all that stuff, retcon, didn't exist. All the good stuff that Luke did, creating his new Jedi Order and other things like that, no, didn't happen. Sorry. All these other badass Siths that we found out about, and no, they don't. They're not there. They're only when they want to kind of bring them in, like Thrawn. Is it Thrawn? Yeah, Thrawn. They end up nerfing them to where they're not actually menacing. They're not actually terrifying. They're fucking cucks. A fucking fragment of what they used to be. But Disney will learn soon enough, and especially with this year having so many leftovers from the previous years, everything that we're pretty much getting this year is holdovers. It's not their best, I'm telling you. And stuff like Echo, Agatha, which is going to be coming out later in the year, and then Ironheart. Oh yeah, that's definitely shows people want to see. Let's not see Cap. Let's not see Iron Man. Even though yes, they are dead, but they played their role. But there are still people that are alive. Thor, you fucked him up. Hulk, he's a pussy. Hawkeye, he's retired. Black Widow's dead. So who do you have to go off of now? No, all the substitutes. You have White Widow. You have Black Captain America. You got well, technically Bucky's still there, but they're not acknowledging him because he's a straight white dude. Oh my god. Yeah, and then Thor, he's basically retired as well with a daughter. Like, no, these people can't have a good send off. They got to be fucking tarnished. But that's that portion, I would say. Continuing on. Second to last thing we got to talk about here. Pixar announces big layoffs. Now, I was going to make a video on this, but didn't have the time. So, guess what? We're doing it now. First and foremost, Pixar Animation Studios is laying off 14% of its employees as it looks to implement a strategy prioritizing the quality of content over sheer quantity. It's almost like you shouldn't have just been pumping out garbage on Disney Plus. Because the amount of money, something like this, look, Lightyear cost $219 million. Toy Story 4, or no, that was Elemental. Elemental only made $480 million when I know damn well it costs at least $300 to $250 million just to make. They didn't make profit, right? You still have to account for the marketing and then all for some of the shows, the reshoots. Pixar Animation Studios is set to lay off approximately 175 employees, or about 40% of its workforce, according to a spokesperson by parent company Walt Disney. This move is a direct result of CEO Bob Iger's strategy to prioritize the quality of content over quantity. While other Disney divisions faced layoffs last year, Pixar's cuts were postponed due to ongoing production schedules. And again, that's another thing that Bob Iger's been doing, which, because the company hasn't been very profitable, he's been having to lay off and cut people just so that their numbers, start moving back up. But again, that's pretty shit when you're having to fire so many fucking people just to stay afloat, to be profitable. Like, maybe that shows you guys, the people at the top, I should say, definitely shouldn't be there. You're running the company into the ground, and instead the people that suffer are the ones in the bottom. These animation people, I guarantee you, They shouldn't have been laid off. Bob should have been the first one gone, especially with how much money they've lost. Kathleen Kennedy, another one that should have been gone a long time ago. Kevin Feige, another person that should be long gone, especially with how they've completely deviated from what they claimed they were going to be doing, right? They're not honoring the fans. They're not listening. They keep on pretending like, oh, we're on your side, this and that. Yeah, you guys want the fucking whales. That's it. But the actual fans, the people that can recite what happened in this comic or what happened in this show back in the 80s or whatever. No. We don't want your money, right? We want the new generational money. Gen Z, we want their fucking money. Even most of these people aren't actually spending anything on parks or anything. They want those crazy Disney adults, honestly. As it states here, Iger, who returned as CEO in late 2022, aims to improve Disney's box office performance by refocusing Pixar on theatrical releases rather than streaming content. Ugh. The shift comes after pandemic-induced changes. And again, this is the issue. This is the fucking excuse that they've been using so fucking much. Oh, we're just trying to get used to post-COVID. We're just getting used to post-COVID. Bitch, it's been 2 years since that shit. Everybody else has moved on just fine. Other movies are making profit. Oppenheimer, Barbie. These movies are making money. But the ones that are suffering are the ones under your fucking leadership. How much did Dial of Destiny lose? How much did the Marvels lose? How much did Lightyear lose? All these things. And again, because you have them lined up where it's going to be on streaming in a few months. So people are just like, well, why the fuck would I watch it in theaters if I just wait 3 months? I'm just going to be able to watch it there. The delusion that has happened with Disney is staggering. I'm surprised more people aren't trying to kick him off the board sooner, but how the mighty will fall by their own hands, straight to the heart. As it shows here, Elemental was a decent enough hit for the company last year, taking 480 globally, but compared to the 1 billion plus of pre-pandemic hits like Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4, has to be considered a comparative flop. And less said about 2022's Lightyear, 219 million, the better. Iger is taking Pixar away from short-form series. Oh, here was another one. Now, while I had initial issues with Turning Red because of the topic of what it's about, it's not for me because I'm not a female. So, that being said, if Encanto, Luca, and Turning Red would have came out in theaters, wasn't announced they were going to be on streaming in a few months or anything like that, or in general, if Disney Plus just wasn't even a thing, and those movies came out in theaters, I guarantee you, I mean, Encanto made quite a bit of money, and that was mostly because of the fucking merchandising from the songs and other shit. We don't talk about Bruno. You had a very nice friend story with Luca, and then you had a I guess you could say family trauma movie with Turning Red, but they had two very good stories that people could resonate with, take their kids to. One about fish people, another one about Chinese pandas, puberty and other stuff like that, and they would have done good. But then only now this year they tried releasing them into theaters, and guess what? They didn't make their money. They got ignored by the populace because they're just like, why am I going to go to theaters to watch this when it's on streaming? And then you have Pixar's next upcoming film, Inside Out 2, which they're forecasting to be a big opening weekend. But with such big plot holes, such as, here's one. In Inside Out, both the mother and the father, you get to see inside their head, and you get to see the emotions that are in there. The 5 emotions: sadness, disgust, anger, fear, and joy. But all of a sudden, in the sequel, now you have anxiety, nostalgia, I forget what other fucking people their names are, but you have these other characters that are all of a sudden added in, which we didn't see that in the fucking first one. and then you're gonna try and reinvent it and be like, oh, they were always there, or they're popping in and out. And it's just like, that's how you know it's bad storytelling. It's bad world building. You should have been able to establish this stuff beforehand if you had planned on a story like this. Clearly, you did not have it planned thoroughly enough to where now you're making a sequel and people are able to point out these plot holes. Obviously, the movie hasn't came out yet, but that's a huge contender for just like, this don't make sense. And people are going to definitely call it out. And now after seeing people, 175 people being cut, Inside Out 2 needs to make at least 650 mil to be in a good spot. For whatever reason, Disney seems to think every budget needs to be at least 150 minimum to about $300 million. And then that's not including tax breaks that usually gets put into their fucking tax write-offs at the end of the year. But what do I know? I'm just some dumbass making videos on here, looking at the analytics, kind of putting two and two together. But we'll see how it turns out for them, right? And last but not least, Paper Mario came out this week. And with that came a whole host of controversy because they changed some terminology in the fucking game. And what everybody has been touting as a huge win for them. Let me see if I find that picture. If I could even find it at all. That's not right here. Let's go back to Vivian 1,000-year door. Now, which one had that fucking thing in there? Or you know what? Fuck it. We'll just go to my video. Easier that way. Go to channel. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, I know I'm live. Anyways, right here. Alright, so, like I had covered, Bounty in the comics, there was a few things they changed up here. Close that. So, we have ourselves here where there, the catcalling was implemented in the game, but the main thing that people were taking as a huge win and running with it was this portion right here, where Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door localizers made Vivian trans. She was originally a cross-dresser or a femboy in the original Japanese, not trans. And again, this goes off the fact that she was in Otokonoko. Or even better, I think someone was in my comments pointing out what it was. Let me point out this bad boy right here doing his research. Mr. FF8 Irvin fan. He was pointing out that he said, I can confirm that not only is he not trans, he is also crushing hard on Mario, which means the Okama quote, aka heart of a maiden, is literally hinting at that. He admits to crushing on Mario in the scene where Mario is saying farewell to everyone at the end. And again, there's a huge difference in how, for some reason, the Westerners seem to perceive what whatchamacallit, these categories symbolize. So in Japanese culture, you got cross-dressers, you got otokonokos, new halves, okama. So this is the one that my friend was actually commenting about, and then gender bend, right? But to the fucking libtards on the left in America, they just see it as all transgender, right? Even though they have a specific role in Japanese culture, they're designated a certain description, and by you just blankly labeling them all the same, you ignore the fact that these Japanese people have a point to some of this shit, right? Like, tell me you don't like Japanese, or you don't respect Japanese culture. Tell me you don't understand someone else and you're just gonna paint them in broad strokes that fits your narrative. Maybe this is just a stupid idea, but that is what's fucking gone on with Paper Mario. When this didn't have to be a fucking thing, right? And then you had some fucking weirdos in here still also. Again, we had the person comment, but even here I was going over how the original dialogue basically was going out here where it says Beldam saying, "We are Marilyn, the three." Vivian says, "Shadow Sisters." Goombella says, "The three Shadow Sisters." Beldam basically saying, "Vivian, are you saying you're not a man?" And obviously, on this point, it's basically just making fun of him / her, however you want to perceive it. Well, not really, but it's obviously just being a dick, right? Because it's kind of like Cinderella's two sisters where they're both ugly and they're so jealous of Cinderella, so they make her do all the chores, all this other dumb shit, and waste her time not being able to see the prince. And basically you have that same thing playing out with Beldam and Marilyn denigrating Vivian. Who would have fucking thought, right? It's just crazy how these people are so insane. They're like, nope, they're trans now. Thousand Year Door is a transgender woman who calls herself one of the three Shadow Sisters. Strangely, this is the only case in Japanese, Spanish, Italian, and French versions of the Thousand Year Door, as the English and German releases remove any reference to Vivian being trans. I wonder why. Instead, Beldam's transphobia is changed to insults about Vivian's appearance, removing her gender identity from the story altogether. Again, these people are so hellbent on making everything LGBTQ plus bullshit. When make your own fucking characters like this. Stop making Robin gay. Stop making Superman and his son gay. Stop making them trans and all this other dumb shit, right? Like, these people. I'm sorry about that. I had my mouth to I don't know. Getting excited. I just no. What? I know you're doing great. These people are just fucking weird. But with that being said, we are gonna wrap it up. Make sure you wrap it up before you get someone pregnant. I would know. Shut up. Don't tell them that. Okay, let's have Marsh Tom sign us out. He's over there just giving me a foot job. Hold up. He's giving me a... That's kind of gross, but he's got a nice slippery mouth. He's like, oh god, no. Say, Marsh Tom, what do you think of today's episode? Was it good or was it bad? It was good. I agree. Only the best reporting here. But I'm not a reporter. Don't call me a newsman. Because I'm an anchor. No? Damn it. I gotta get an applause button out of here somewhere. Otherwise, nobody's gonna know I'm funny. Everybody always likes a laugh track. But with that being said, H Shinigami signing out. Y'all have a good night, good morning, and good evening. Thank you for tuning in for the live stream. Thank you for watching all my dumb shit. And until next time, I will have another episode next Saturday. And yeah, I will... Oh, chapter 1115 for One Piece will be coming out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, yeah. Bye!